In the early days of the pandemic, there were all kinds of dire predictions about what would happen to the housing market. Some said it would fall off a cliff. Just the opposite has happened. We'll be talking to a luxury home builder who's building a dynasty. That's next on the Jeff Crilley Show.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home. We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network. We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. We sure all remember this in the early days of the pandemic in February. There were all kinds of predictions about what would happen to the housing market. Some people said everything was going to freeze, it was going to fall off the cliff, and we're learning now that just the opposite has happened. We're going to be talking about that today with Gerald Evans. He's the owner of Dynasty Luxury Homes. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, Gerald, I want to start with your own story because it's fascinating. You didn't set out to become a home builder.
No, not exactly. I was in the metal business with my dad as a young guy, like 12, 13 years old, and did well. And after I was married at an early age, I decided to build my own home and save money, and I accomplished that. It was a lot of learning curve, but it was done, and that's how I built my first home. Then my dad wanted to build his second home for himself, and we built his home. Then as I moved on, I built my third home, which was a larger home. And then I said, hey, I kind of really like this, and I think I can make a business out of this. And I had friends and family contact me who wanted to build houses, and I charged them, obviously, a fee, and that was it. So started from there.
Wow, what year was that you built your first home?
My first home I built in 1984.
Different time.
Yeah, I was 18 years old.
Wow.
And that's when I started from there.
And I remember in the late 80s, there was kind of a collapse of
it was.
Yeah.
So it was a collapsed market. It was not doing well. But I saved well. I bought a house. So it was something that it was too expensive to buy a house from a builder. Mm-hmm. So we kind of cut him out. That's what we did. Which, it was just common sense.
And you've seen a lot of ups and downs. So when the pandemic hit, did you say to yourself, this is going to be just another, chance to pivot or just another setback, or did you get scared?
Well, it was an unknown. I mean, who knew what was going to happen? Because like you said, I've seen a lot of setbacks. We had back in 2000, we had the markets crash, and things kind of went down a little bit. 9/11 was a disaster for homes. I mean, everybody really didn't know what to do, but it picked up quickly.
2008 was bad.
2008 was probably the worst.
Yep.
That was the worst. And then when this happened, it's unknown. I didn't know what's going to happen, but it's absolutely opposite. People want to build homes right now, getting more calls than ever. We have a remodeling division, which has taken off tremendously.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it's because people are spending more time in their homes, and with the quarantine, if you're going to stay in a home, you're probably noticing a lot of things that your home needs.
Yes.
And they kind of want to get it done.
And it becomes the home office. So if you hadn't paid attention to your home office before the pandemic, you're putting a little bit of money into it. Yes,
we're doing 2 home offices in new homes these days.
Wow.
One for the wife, one for the husband.
Love it. We're going to show some projects that that you've worked on, and I want you to kind of narrate this for us. What are we looking at?
Right here, that's a contemporary home, way west Fort Worth. That home was built. It was probably about 10 years ago. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's just a contemporary. It's a mix there. It's a transitional.
Yes.
Same thing there.
Beautiful craftsmanship. Attention to detail.
That particular door, just to talk about that is an old wooden door from the 1930s that we got for a homeowner. Put some new glass in it, stained it, and created a barn door for him. Just what he wanted. Yep.
Very cool. What are we looking at there?
Right there, we're looking at a stucco. That's a stucco home that has over 10,000 square feet. That's in North Dallas.
Wow.
And those are craftsman style homes. That's our model home right there. It's a French style.
These are beautiful projects. So tell me, Jerry, when you're working with a buyer for the first time, what is your process? How do you go about finding out and helping accomplish their dreams?
Well, first of all, what we do is we spend a lot of time with the homeowner, and they can take a pen and draw what they've seen, or bring some photographs or whatever they have to put together. Because typically the people that I work with are people who tried to buy and they just can't get what they want. So we can take a combination of whatever they want, just spend a lot of time with them. And we draw conceptions until we get it right to where they want to be, and they're in control.
Yes. Let's talk about the DFW market, because it is kind of an anomaly. I mean, in some markets, it's, Vegas right now is just devastated. You look at some markets that have just been hit real hard. Dallas, we don't really seem to experience the same kind of downturn that other cities do we?
No, we don't. And I guess it's the weather, it's our proximity. It's great for people who fly all over the country, or used to. So it's also our pricing. We're still at a good price. We're the lowest in the nation. You have people selling homes in California for multi-million dollars and coming here and spending a third of that
right.
and getting a better house.
Yes. Yeah, we have some couples that we're meeting from New York, and they can't believe how much they can get.
Same thing in New York.
Money.
I've built for people from New York many times.
We're going to show some neighborhoods that you specialize in, and kind of walk us through this. Lakeside Crossing, where is that?
Oh, that's over in Flower Mound, which is an up-and-coming area. That's the new style of living that some people prefer, maybe younger people, or just people who want everything in just one area and don't want to travel in traffic. You have restaurants, you have a hotel, you have jogging trails, and it's right on Lake Grapevine.
Very nice.
Very
nice.
nice.
And so would you say most of your work is in kind of North Dallas, Collin, Tarrant, Northeast Tarrant
Well,
County?
that's the difference between, I think, myself and other builders. I build all over Dallas-Fort Worth.
Really? That's awesome.
And on people's lots that they purchased. So I'll go out and build on your lot. Our Build on Our Lot program has been very successful. That's worked great for us because they could buy a lot wherever they want, and we'll come out and build their house.
Are you doing a lot with millennials?
Yes, we do a lot with millennials, and you have to. We understand what they want, and we deal with them. Their homes are a little bit more minimalistic, is what we find. Not as traditional, which is sensible. Green.
Yes.
We do the things like foam insulation in most of all our homes now, keep our energy costs down, just to have a smaller footprint.
I get it. I read somewhere where millennials are kind of choosing their neighborhood, they're choosing their home based on their pet, because many of them haven't started a family yet. So like they're a dog-friendly home, or
a dog-friendly home. We do dog doors. But we do better than that. We do dog doors. We do electronic systems that feed the dogs.
Really?
Yep, built in.
Have you ever done like a luxury dog house?
Oh, we've done some, and those actually happen in some of the traditional houses, like for Great Danes. We've done full beautiful homes with the same roofing as their home. And marble and insulation and lighting and electrical and everything.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
Well, look into your crystal ball. What do you see for the rest of this year and next? I mean, do you see the DFW market continuing to go up, or what do you see?
I see it going up. I mean, I don't see it going down right now. But there's too much demand.
Yes.
Our biggest problem we face right now is land. We're just not enough of it already. So we're moving further and further north, west, and east.
Yep.
But I don't see anything going down right now. I believe that we are on a path of up and up and up.
That's wonderful. How about labor? Any challenges there?
Well, labor's up because labor follows the trend. So our subcontractors are opportunistic. Yep. So they charge more when they can. One problem we are having right now is with materials.
Lumber prices.
Lumber's up 170%.
That's amazing.
It has nothing to do with the lumber itself. It's all about the supply chain.
Really?
Yes.
That it got interrupted by the pandemic?
Pandemic right now, so that's kind of hurting a little bit.
Yeah.
But after speaking to a lot of my lumber suppliers, we're looking at maybe in the next 90 days that may level out.
Yeah. We're almost out of time, Gerald. So let's end with kind of like your philosophy, because I know there's a lot of home builders out there that are trying to cut corners and stuff like that, and you're really about excellence, aren't you?
Absolutely, and that's what made me make that change from the standard home to a real custom home. And there's custom homes, semi-custom, and there's a real custom. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to make everything the way they want it exactly. So we spend a lot of time with our homeowners.
Yes.
Plus, building my personal homes and getting into this business because of that, I know how frustrating or how it can make you nervous.
Yeah.
So you could call me at 10 o'clock at night, and I'll answer the phone. You're not going to talk to my receptionist or anybody else.
That's cool.
And we're going to talk about what's on your mind, because some people can't sleep at night. Homes is a big deal. I've seen people get divorces from trying to build a home.
And I bet you've gone into other homes where there's shoddy workmanship, and it drives you crazy. I mean,
it drives you crazy, and you try to tell, but they bought it at a price point that worked for them, and that's fine. But you see what people put out there. Actually, I did a remodel or a repair just now. The home, structurally, the framing work was terrible. I'm only 14 years old.
As long as you're mentioning remodeling, let's talk about the handy husband who watched a couple of reality shows, and now he thinks that he can
get it all the time. We have to come in, tear out everything he's tried to do.
Yes.
And the reality shows make it look so simple.
Yes.
Because they're not doing the work. It's all been done, and then it looks like they're holding a hammer, and hey, I just finished this, but that's not happening.
Yes.
So we've been in many times and took over, had to tear out things and get it done right.
Now, who usually calls you, the husband or the wife?
It's usually the wife calls, and what she usually says is, "Hey, he thinks he could do it. It's not happening."
No.
And then we have to have like a reality meeting to explain to him that, listen, this is really not the way it goes.
He thinks he's Chip and Joanna.
And I don't blame him.
You've been a great guest. You have to come back. Okay, so we're going to put the website up to end this segment. DynastyLuxuryHomes.com is the website. Gerald Evans, the owner. Thank you so much, Gerald. You were awesome.
Thank you. I enjoyed myself.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.